past here. When you grab, you give it a good stir in the evening and you get your slightly heated teaspoon. And you pop it into a fresh cup and you mix it up. The first thing that grows are the wild yeast. That's their growth curve, so that's the yeast. The second thing that grows are the lactobacillus, that is their growth curve. This is midnight on Saturday night. That's when you feed them. Yeah. The way you know when it's ready to make bread is that the yeast activity will crest, and that coincides with your leaven rising to the top of the cup and starting to fall. So that's that point right there. That is 9 to 12 hours from feeding. So that's 9 in the morning till 12 midday the next day, if you feed it at midnight. And if it's in the right temperature zone. Ideally, leaven should be fed with water that's somewhere between 15 and 25 degrees. Yeah? And it should remain somewhere in that range for most of its 24 hours. It can go as low as 12 degrees without much trouble, but it's going to take longer than 12 hours to be ready if it's down under 12 degrees. The next...
And too hot? I'm just thinking in the summer.
Too hot, yeah. Too hot is potentially a problem too. We keep our leaven out the back in that cooler room in summer, not in the bakehouse. But during winter, the bakehouse is like at the moment 26 degrees, 27 degrees. We'll happily keep our leaven at that temperature. So you can go as high as that if you want to. But having it continue at 30 degrees in the middle of summer will give you leaven problems. Okay, so this is the Redbeard way of doing it. If you're in southern Germany, if you're in Bavaria, you would make your beautiful deep dark rye bread at 16 hours from feeding. At that point, at the time that Redbeard make it, at this 9 to 12 period, you can see if you take a spoon of this, if you take, 100 grams of this stuff, it's mostly wild yeast. So wild yeast gives us enormous height and a huge amount of carbon dioxide. So it gives us big, fluffy, light loaves. Yeah? And we like that. But you can also see there's a lot of lactobacillus activity at that point too. So lactobacillus gives you flavour. So this bread will be light and fluffy but also have a fair bit of flavour. If you let it go, the leaven go to 16 hours old, you can see that it'll be mostly flavour. It'll be incredibly, beautifully flavoursome, German, lovely bread. But will it be very fluffy and light? No, because the yeast activity has dropped right off. This, in between these 2 points, this is the baker's playground. You can let your leaven go older and have it more flavoursome, but not as fluffy. Or you can drag it back and have it really beautifully, like those nice buns, beautifully fluffy, but still have a little bit of flavour.
So, I could be completely off track here, but like a ciabatta is a heavier bread. Is that because they've gone, is it anything to do with this? Is it because they've left it later, or is it a completely different recipe?
Ciabattas, it really depends who's making them, particularly the sourdough ciabatta. Yeah, from bakery to bakery it varies about how long they're doing the ferment. Again, if you want a flavoursome ciabatta that's it's more dense, most people want to really, most ciabattas light, white, pure white flour, no wholemeal at all, and they'd be down this end. They'd be down let's get huge bubbles in it and let's get it really light, but not have it too overpoweringly strong flavour.
So if you wanted a heavier one, you'd be either side of those times.
You could go longer. Your leaven could be older when you use it, and you'll get a heavier, more flavoursome one.
Right.
Yeah. Now, this point here is when you feed your leaven. This is 24 hours. So, here's the leaven. You stir it. You take out your heaped teaspoon, and you put it back into fresh, flour and water, the wild yeast go berserk, the lactobacillus go berserk, you're back at 24 hours, you stir your leaven at night, you take a spoon of it and you go back here. So this is what happens on a 24-hour cycle again and again and again every day of your leaven's life. The yeast go berserk, the lactobacillus go berserk, you take a spoon and you feed it. If you forget to feed it, what happens?
Cactus.
Yeah, no, well, not initially. You have a little bit of a safety margin. This, let's say it's 48 hours, this is 72. If you forget to feed it the next night and you leave it a whole night without feeding it, you can still grab a teaspoon of this and go straight back here, because there's still enough activity going on for you to be safe. However, if you're 48, if you're silly enough to let the whole thing go through to 72 hours, 2 nights without feeding, you get to the 3rd night and you try and feed it, this is what happens. In the background of every terrestrial community on Earth that we know, ecosystem on Earth, another whole huge super group of organisms, and here they come. They get to a point around here somewhere and they say, okay, it's our turn in the sun. And off they go, and there's their growth curve. And of course these guys are called the fungi. They're the molds, there they are. There are mold spores in every single cup of leaven, in every leaven everywhere, but they are suppressed by antifungals that we now know, this research is only a year old, we now know because the lab in the US isolated 20 different antifungal compounds from wild yeast and lactobacillus in wild leavens.
Oh.
Brand new to science antifungal compounds. At the moment, patent and big food and big pharma have gone into league with the lab in the US. They're funding the lab for millions of dollars. They're trying to patent these new natural antifungal compounds that wild yeast produce and lactobacillus produce that rain down on the fungal spores and stop them doing anything.
So how does that affect the sourdough community?
Well, we're just watching. Yeah, we're watching and going, well, that's interesting.
Because technically they're not allowed to patent organic things, but the fruit fly thing, and that started the whole...
Yeah, patenting the...
genotypes.
No, the actual, these things, these are chemical compounds that these guys manufacture as antifungals. So
Yes.
these are new antifungal compounds.
But you are building them as well as I'm doing it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you know,
I
like...
can see a big class action here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to sell this on a commercial bakery side of it, and I want to be Monsanto in the bakery ingredients. I want to be Burns Phillip. Thanks for coming.
All right, so what happens, of course, is while these guys are active, they keep on producing antifungals all the time, and it suppresses the fungal growth. When you get down here somewhere and you're naughty and you haven't been feeding your leaven, eventually comes a spot where the fungi go, okay, it's safe to come out, let's go boys, and off they go. And they have their day in the sun. If you take a teaspoon of this stuff here, at 72 hours old, you take a spoon of this really ancient leaven and you go, okay, I'm going to try and feed it. What will happen is you won't go back to here again, you'll just go here.
And it'll just make it mould.
Yeah, correct. You'll be making lots and lots of beautiful mould, lots of fungi, and you'll never go back this way again. So there is a point at which it's
No return.
rooted.